Hello, everybody. My name's Sol. That's Josh over here, and this is Ruckus Entertainment and Variety. Today we got a episode of Bracket Bitches, but first, Josh, how you doing?
No, I'm surviving at this point. We both are.
Yes,
Uh, good news is you get to see the goat play today.
yes,
I still have to sit in my apartment, so.
yeah. You can hear it in our gravelly voices. You might hear us cough or sneeze. We
Hmm.
do apologize because both of us are sick, even though we're not in the same place. But I guess Josh got me sick through the internet. Like, that's how it is.
And Game Dude's got me sick, so we'll blame Game Dudes.
Yeah, we'll blame game dudes. But today we're talking about the W Gold Cup, which the U.S. women are a part of. And we finally have the brackets because we had our group stage. We did well until that last game against Mexico. We'll get into that. It's not fun being 2-0, but we have the brackets.
Hmm.
Let's show Tvshka's not here today. He does apologize for not being here today, but let's show his bracket. What do you think of Tvshka's bracket here? He has Canada, US, Brazil, Paraguay, and then the US winning it all because USA.
Um, I mean, I like it. Seems very similar to somebody
Mm,
else's.
does seem very similar to somebody else's. You might notice the only thing that changes here is Josh's name there. Why do you guys have the same bracket?
Because USA is awesome. We figure Canada's going to win at least one game. Because they're stepping up with their sports, and we don't like Mexico because they're a rival, and so therefore they're not going to move on, even though they beat us last time. But that's the reason why they got up for one game, and typically when you get up for one game, you're not going to get up for the rest. So therefore, Mexico is going to not.
Mexico hate here.
Yeah, it's a rival for a reason. And the best part about all this is Cincinnati is involved.
um, but why are you guys the same?
I don't know. Great minds think alike, probably.
Yeah. Uh, any other thoughts on your bracket? Any other reasonings? Any other than just like you gotta go USA all the way?
Tell me a little about Colombia and why we both picked Colombia. That's the one thing I want to know.
Well, Colombia. You didn't pick Colombia. Colombia's in the
Sorry, the
yeah.
CBF. Sorry, the CBF. What?
Oh, that's Brazil.
Oh yeah, no. Now I get it now.
Yeah, Colombia is this one
Yeah,
here,
okay,
which we
okay.
have the U.S. beating them.
Sorry. I get me. Tells you how much I've watched soccer. Both of us. But no, Brazil. That makes sense. Who was the really good Brazilian soccer player female that
She's no longer with
I
them.
know I know I know she retired, but
Yeah, Marta.
Marta. Um, but Brazil still. I mean, just they're known for their soccer. I mean, Brazil. I mean, they've
Definitely
got
on the
like
men's side. Yeah,
different on the men's side, but still, like even Brazil, the female Marta helped a lot
yeah.
during her heyday.
And you got
Uh,
Dabinia. You got several good players with
mhm.
Brazil. Well, let's go over to my picks here. I was a little bit kinder
Boo.
to Mexico. Um, but going on my bracket, uh, I gotta go USA all the way, even though it is very like we have the harder side of the bracket.
Mhm.
Colombia can take us out. Canada can take us out. And the reason we have the harder side of the bracket is because we did not show respect
Nope.
to Mexico. Um,
I can't believe I'm saying it for soccer, but I'm nervous about Canada. I'm nervous about Canada.
with that Mexico game, we were 2-0. We did not play our best players. Naomi Germa was not one of the center backs. Becky Sauerbrunn, who I love with all of my heart. I hate that we keep doing this to our faves. Ya está viejita. Like, give her send off game, give her all her flowers and her respect. She I apologize. She's a wonderful person and a wonderful player, but man, that first goal, her
Hmm.
her fault there.
I saw that replay. That hurt.
It hurt. It hurt deep in my soul. But I can never go against my girls here. Colombia is going to be hard. If you watch the World Cup, Linda Caicedo, yes,
Is Alex Morgan playing?
she is on the squad as a replacement for someone else who got hurt.
Okay, I know she's at the end of her career, unfortunately, but she's like she's just amazing. Um, I don't
Not
care.
recently, but
No, I know not
yes.
recently, but girl out of Cal, amazing, amazing player. Um, and I know we're at the tail end of like you know, um, Wambach obviously has been retired for about 7 years. Um, Rapino just retired, so we're getting the end of that string of
Yeah.
those players. Um, but I still want to hold on to what I love
And you
about
have
those
the
teams.
giant crush on Alex Morgan, so you just always want to
I
see
you said it, I didn't. Okay, I just want to point that out. Okay.
it.
Um,
You're not denying it.
no, I'm not denying it.
But yeah, Colombia is going to be hard, and Colombia could beat us. Linda Caicedo, she is just a force to be reckoned with, and love watching her play.
Hmm.
But we did play Colombia twice in 2023. The first game was a nil-nil draw. The second game, we beat them 3-0. So we can beat them. Canada's going to be tough. They're playing their best
Yeah.
soccer, their best football in this tournament. They're the best team in this tournament right now. We might be ranked number 2 in the world, but I'm scared of Canada, as you said it as well. So they very easily could beat us, but I'm back in USA there.
Yeah, you got to.
Uh,
Is the world? It's the same thing with the men's basketball. Is the world catching up to the U.S. or the U.S. just lacking, just being lazy?
they're not being lazy, I would say, but it's one of those that the world is catching up. People are respecting women's football around the world now a little bit more than they used to. Not as much as they should, but we also are have a style that we play,
Hmm.
and we've kind of been a little stuck in our ways.
Gotcha.
And we need to adapt with the times.
Adapt or survive, guys. Adapt and survive.
Yes. Um, with Brazil, Argentina, they are huge rivals on the men's side. They are rivals on the women's side. Argentina is a scrappy squad. If you watch the US Argentina game, they were floppy McFloppersons all over the field. Um, they're the type of squad that they're not as talented as you, but they're gonna get under your skin, annoy the shit out of you. So I see Brazil winning, but they might have some yellow, possibly red card casualties from this game.
So they're Scrappy Doo. They're the little small little pup that has a Napoleon complex.
A little bit, a little bit. And these women just they're scrappy, and in the game they do have some skill, and they have become better than they were in the past. But yeah, they have that. If you are a fan of the Premier League or English football, even though they're in the championship now, you know the team Leeds United, the team I follow. They're known as Dirty Dirty Leeds because they're scrappy. They play dirty. I would say the Argentina women that they play a little dirty. It's one of those when the ref's not looking, bows up. Like,
Nice. And but like when you know your opponent, that's good scouting to me. It's like yes, it's scrappy, yes, it's annoying, yes, it's like as a fan, you're like, why are you doing this? But like they need to
mm,
win, and
yeah,
if that's and they know that they're up against a superior opponent, so therefore they're going to do everything they can I've been in those coaching meetings. Like for my great uncle was a women's basketball coach, and he was like, sometimes we just had to go out there and just cause a lot of ruckus.
And
No,
annoy the shit out of
yeah,
them.
and all pun intended about this channel, but yeah, um, Argentina's got to go in there and cause a little ruckus, and because you have to, in order to get their mental out of whack.
Yeah. So I have full faith in Brazil beating them, but yeah, that's gonna be a fun game. I think of the U.S. Colombia is gonna be a fun game, but I think the funnest game to watch in this part of the is gonna be the Brazil Argentina
Yeah,
because that's gonna be a scrappy fight.
yeah. Based on what you're
Um,
telling me, I'm game.
then you got Mexico, Paraguay. Mexico just beat the United States, something they've only ever done once before in their history. And they just beat the second ranked team in the world. They just beat the four-starred, four World Cup wins, four Olympic wins USA. They are riding high.
Which is why they're down. They're down for just getting defeated by
No,
Paraguay.
they are they have momentum here because their first game they tied Argentina. They should have won that game. They tied, but then their second game they gained momentum. Their game against us they gained momentum, and momentum can win you a championship.
Yeah, I know.
And so I think they're beating Paraguay, and then I think they're beating Brazil because they're not afraid anymore. They used to have fear with teams that were better than them, but zero fear. They also are playing in LA, which is a pro Mexico crowd. This was Hercules Gomez, former U.S. men's national team player, was at the game, the U.S. Mexico game. He's of Mexican heritage. He said that this was the first time on the women's side that he saw more Mexican fans in the crowd than US fans and that they were louder than the US fans. He goes, it felt like a men's national team game because you see that all the time. The US men, they play at home, but it's not a home game when they're playing Mexico because Mexico shows out
Hmm.
way more than the US. And that was the case for this, uh, for that game against the US women. And so even though they're not playing in Mexico, they're pretty much playing home games.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And a lot of these girls too on the Mexico squad are Mexican American, grew up in the United States, so this is home field for them as well. Some of them being born in California, so that they're playing at home, and they're. I think they're going to be Paraguay. I think they're going to be Brazil, and I think it's going to be a rematch, USA Mexico, and that'll be fun. And of course, we're going to beat them.
As a fan, I kind of want to see that, but as my bracket, I don't, because obviously I have them losing to Paraguay at the rip because they're our
Yeah.
rival. So therefore, I can't, like you said before, with Orlando, in our
Mm-hmm.
in our first bracket bitches that we did, as far as the MLS stuff, which as you saw, I totally pay attention. Um,
Hey, you're remembering stuff.
yeah, but it's kind of the
Yeah, I
same
could
thing.
never go for Yorando City, who we're also playing today. The
Yeah.
game I'm going
Woo! She can see message. She can see message. She can see message.
to, and it's one of the free games on Apple Plus, so you guys can see Messi on your TV if you
I am definitely tuning in for that because anytime I get to see the guy walk around for about, I don't know, 20 minutes and then all of a sudden just perk up and score 3 goals, it's awesome.
want. But yeah, that'll be a fun USA Mexico, and that's one of those where you see a team that beat you in the group stage, you see them again in the knockout round, and it's kind of like we're gonna give some payback for what you did to us. And I have full confidence in our girls that they realize that this is not just as easy as it used to be in the past. We can't just show up and play whoever we want,
Hmm.
like on the field, and just win a game easily, just dominating. As we have to do the scouting of other teams. We have to play our best players. We have to show other teams respect. Because, in all honesty, I don't think we showed Mexico respect.
Mm,
No offense to Dominican Republic and Argentina. I liked that we were rotating players in those two games because we such a wide berth between the U.S. and the Dominican Republic and the U.S. and Argentina. Um, but the gap between the U.S. and Mexico is getting smaller, and we need to give them respect. Just like on the men's side, the Mexican national team is starting to realize that the U.S. has caught up to them and
yeah,
now possibly better than them and have to give us respect.
yeah. Especially your boy was it number 7? Is that um
Giorena?
yeah, dude. I saw him live. He's awesome.
Yes.
He's so good.
See,
Uh,
Nottingham Forest, you should play him.
yeah, yeah.
Dortmund, you should have
Play him
played him more too.
now. Obviously, Soul shared a video with us, and he's kind of a hothead, but I don't care. Dude scores. Dude's awesome. A couple questions for you.
Yes.
From an outsider's perspective that doesn't watch a lot of soccer.
Yeah.
So, um, how what number first question? How has Canada caught up and surpassed our sister state in Costa Rica? Or
Oh, Canada has always been above our sister state, Costa Rica.
okay,
Canada has always been number two in the CONCACAF region on the women's side, where on the men's side, it's always been US, Mexico, like fighting each other. On the women's side, it's always been US, Canada. So, really, on the women's side, Canada has more been our rival than Mexico.
okay,
And Canada has won in Olympics before, too. So, Canada is actually a very good squad when it comes to the women's team. It's one of those where they were one of the countries that actually, although not lately, gave respect to the women's squad in a sense of like giving them the facilities and giving them
hmm
the structure to actually play. That's why like the US dominated for such a Title IX, having the infrastructure, having the kind of stuff there. But you saw the battles that the US women have had to recently do with equal pay and all of that, which now other national teams are following in the US footsteps. But and that's been the case. The U.S. has been paving the way for all these other women's national team, and that's why you see more a camaraderie from country to country when it comes to like after a game than you see on the men's side. Is because they're all fighting with each other for a better future for women's soccer. But yeah, Canada has always been number two, and in some cases with the Olympics, winning it in CONCACAF.
right. And that's the one thing I do. I just want our viewers to know, just as far as the progression that Canada has, and then Colombia. Just kind of give us a little preview of Colombia.
I know a little bit less about Colombia because they're in CONMEBOL in South America, but Linda Caicedo and watching that last World Cup and seeing the run that Colombia had, and just she go look up her story. She's 19 years old. She's a cancer survivor, and she just plays lights out. And so yeah, just if you haven't looked her up, go look her up.
So better story than Mbappe, but basically the same type of like comeuppance as far as like soccer wise. It's just like came on the scene and super young, and then was just awesome. Now her story, as you just alluded to, is way bigger than Mbappe because Mbappe was probably groomed as the soccer star that he is. But that's still. I always like to like highlight Colombia, and then tell us why Paraguay or you already alluded to Argentina and their scrappiness, but tell us why Paraguay could maybe make a run.
Paraguay's not going to make a run at all.
Damn
They're a
it!
third
Damn
place
it!
team in and yeah, Mexico's gonna beat them like probably handedly.
I was hoping you'd give us some nugget and to be like, oh,
I
like
mean,
this.
I honestly, Paraguayans put some info like in the chat for me because I don't really know much about your team. Again, like it's CONMEBOL, but just your results in this. very easily, Puerto Rico could have been there instead of Paraguay. They were a third place team that got in, and they had the same wins, the same losses, the same goal differential, the same um, goals allowed, the same goals scored as Puerto Rico. So I need to see what the tiebreaker was between them and Puerto Rico. So we could have seen Puerto Rico, Mexico there. But yeah, that they're not
Okay.
going forward.
So they're the reason that our true sister state Puerto Rico is not in the in this
Yeah,
bracket.
I need to know what their tiebreaker is. Is possibly the tiebreaker is that they're ranked higher than Puerto Rico, but
Okay.
I'm not sure. I need to look into the rules for
Yeah,
this tournament.
because that's what I was like when you were sending me this stuff. I'm like, wow, is Puerto Rico not in it? That was the one thing that like threw me off because always anytime it comes to Concacaf, it's
Mm-hmm.
always a Puerto Rico situation involved. But sometimes it isn't. Just but when I pay attention to it, that's when it is. Uh, but maybe it might be just the baseball thing with that
Yeah, I
Dominican
think that's
Republic.
more the baseball
It's
thing.
more Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico when it comes to baseball. But
Yes,
anyway,
yes.
uh, but yeah, no, it's kind of crazy that me and Tushka have the same
Yeah,
um,
and I
whatever.
will full transparency. I messaged them separately. They were not
Nope.
knowing each other's picks at all, and I was like, "Well, this is going to be very easy." When putting the graphic together, I literally just have to say duplicate and change the name.
Yeah, but I mean, great minds think alike, or he just cheated off of my brain. I mean, it's whatever it is.
Mm.
We've been
You
going. We've
got
been
your mind meld is just
yeah.
out there.
We've been playing a lot of Catan, so we're used to looking at the areas of land. Maybe that's it. Maybe the nerd in us just like melded that one.
Yeah. So I hope that the US wins, but of the little info that I've given and the info that you know, if the dreaded thing happens and the US does not win,
Mm,
who do you think has the best chance of winning this W Gold Cup?
I can't say Mexico, even though you've given me a lot of reasons why they're probably going to win it. Brazil, I think, is on the downslope. Honestly, from where they were. I mean, not having Marta, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not having Marta. I mean, she's one of the greatest female soccer players to ever grace the pitch. Um, and not
Yeah,
having
no
her,
Marta and no Sinclair in for Canada in this
yeah,
tournament.
yeah. So you know, and that's why I have Brazil, just because I think they're just going to give one last push. But I think Brazil's on the back burner um, on
I
that.
Brazil's actually like on the come up. It's with their younger people, but we'll see.
When Marta, anytime you like same thing like when I brought up Alex Morgan, Abby Wambach, Rapino, like those. When anytime you like lose those
Yeah, Lou's are
stars,
great. Yeah.
lose a star, it's yes you have younger players that are on a come up, as USA has always been consistently good, but you're not going to be there
Yeah.
um, in a sense. So I would. That's why I have Brazil because I'm like maybe like you said, like they have the younger players that come up, whatever. But if Mexico's on a, it sounds like, but according to you, Mexico is on a mission from God.
Yeah, I think they could be Mexico could definitely be a miracle, like or be as in the US hockey team. It could be definitely one of those like underdog stories,
Hmm.
and that would be great for them. I think if anyone is winning this, it's not the US, I think it's Canada. Like with Brazil losing Marta, Canada lost. And I'm sorry, I said Christina, but it's Christine Sinclair. Um, they're still playing lights out, and so Canada definitely. I think that if it's not us, it's probably going to be them, and that's going to make me sad because they're on our side of the bracket. And it would have been much more fun to have a US Canada final, but we
Yeah.
could not beat Mexico. So
Question for the U.S.: where does the new coach have Rodman positioned?
On the wing.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because to me, watching the last World Cup that we unfortunately fell short with, Rodden was the standout to me of like the next generation.
Rodman has a little bit of her father in her when she plays.
That's good and bad at the same time.
Yeah. And she sometimes she'll do some stuff where it's just like, oh, that was so smooth.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is one of those where you should be in she could play very physically, and sometimes that can get her some yellow cards now that
Hmm.
would not have been called in the past.
Hmm.
But yeah, she's so fun to watch.
Dude, she's so like you said, she's so smooth.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing of like the next generation
Mm-hmm.
of U.S. soccer. I'm like, like we talked about it. I was like, Rodman is she got her dad in her, and which
Yeah.
is a good and a bad. Like I said, it's a good and a bad thing because he's kind of a he'll fly off the seat of his, don't know what he's gonna do,
Yeah.
but dude is freak athletic.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the end of our bracket, bitches. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below on who you think's gonna win this W Gold Cup. Josh, any final words?
Go USA.
Go USA!
And
Uh,
Tvshka, change your bracket so we can have something.
hey, if you guys end up being right, which you won't because Paraguay's not going forward, then you could have the double win.
Hey, they have the best chance to beat Mexico because they're the only ones playing them.
I mean, that is facts, but I don't
No, no,
think they're
no,
going
no. I'm not. I'm not. Not. Nope. Not doing it. No. No.
to. Well, anyways, there's Tvshka there in the comments. Thank you for watching. I don't know how long it's been, but for a very sick Josh and a very sick myself, you could hear me coughing throughout this. I do apologize. This is Ruckus Entertainment and Variety. This is Bracket Bitches. That's Josh. I'm Sol, and we will see you next time.